It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Let's get out of here. Aye.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron from God a Minute. So ultimately, we're looking for the rapture. We're looking for the general timing of the rapture. And what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to read the Bible. We don't know if we're ever going to figure it out, but we're going to study and try our best here. The thing that's got my attention right now is this 10 generation thing that's spoken about in Deuteronomy 23 verse 2. I'm going to just bounce around the Bible and go along with me. This is one of those videos that are just going to be sharing information, and it's a bit of a study that I want to dig into a little bit more down the road. And if you guys have any more information on this theme, please let me know. Let's study it out together. Ruth is where I'm bringing a lot of my attention for the rapture. Ruth is associated with the Feast of Weeks. At the end of Ruth, we have this little saying in this verse: "May your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." Well, Tamar played the harlot, and Judah went into Tamar and then had Perez. So Perez, in a way, was sort of an illegitimate child through that whole thing. And so later on in Ruth, before we turn over to Deuteronomy 23, just notice here that there's 10 generations here. Now this is the genealogy of Perez all the way down to David. So Perez has Ron 2, Ram 3, Abinadab 4, Nahshon 5, Salmon 6, Boaz 7, Obed 8, Jesse 9, David number 10. Okay, so there's certainly intention on listing 10 people from Perez and ending on David. If we go back to Deuteronomy 23, verse 2, which is the law, one of illegitimate birth shall not enter the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. None of his descendants shall enter the assembly of the Lord. So I think this is applying to Perez here, and David being the 10th in that list. And so you could also, I confirmed it in Ruth, but you could also see it in Matthew, where I wrote the order in Matthew, but you can count it in this way too. It's a bit easier to see this. Perez is 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then David would be 10. So there's all that. So in Genesis 38, I'll just show you that too. So Genesis 38 is this is the chapter where you get this Judah and Tamar thing, and then at the very end, and Judah says, "Okay, yeah, you've been better than me. Yeah, okay, no problem. You got me. And it says over here that therefore his name was called Perez, and Perez means breach. So, or in other words, how did you break through? This breach be upon you. So there's Perez, who was the son of Judah and Tamar. And if you go back to Genesis 49, the other way, so they knew, so this is Judah, the tribe of Judah. Judah was the father of Perez. This is now Genesis 49, verse 8. Judah, you are he whom your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He bows down, he lies down as a lion. And as a lion, who shall rouse him? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the peoples. People are peoples, depending on the word that you read there. Binding his donkey to the vine, and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. So through this line of Judah, they knew that eventually the Messiah would come. But you see, I think the reason why, David was the 10th from Perez. And he was actually, I guess in that case, he was the 11th from Judah. So David ended up being the king. And so he kind of, besides Saul, he ended up being here's another list here, fulfilling that. So I think part of the reason why they delayed in having a king was because of what happened with Judah and Tamar. I think this story is very significant. And the thing about this that really applies to us and our potential timing of the rapture is on this chart it says that he would have died in 971 and then King Solomon reigned in 971. But the thing is, that is of course up for debate. I'll read this other transcript over here from my other Bible. This is the Amplified, and I'll show you this chart again. Here, I'll show you my chart first. I think I presented this before, but 966 might have been the 4th year of Solomon, which means the first year of Solomon might have been 969. There's this wiggle room here that we're dealing with here. So that a lot of people would agree somewhere between 969 and 971 BC. This Bible right here, this is a little excerpt from this version that I read sometimes, and it's talking about the 4th year of Solomon being 966 BC. And then that would mean that the Exodus happened in 1446. And if that is the case, because we use this Assyrian eclipse that we talked about before, and if that's the case, and this all lines up, then that's our potential situation here of multiplying the 490 years times 7 to get to 2025. And here's another, if you use this calculator online, I'll just take this off and you can look at the computer here. I know this is not as clear as it could be, but 1406 plus 2025 or plus 3,430 years on a BC to AD calculator is 2025. So to be fair, I've been talking about 1406, 1407, and 1408 as the potential year that they crossed the Jordan. I don't think it's anything further than that, but again, time will tell as we keep on adjusting things here. Oh, and I wanted to add one more thing too. If 969 was the year that David died and Solomon started his reign, then you add 3,000 years to that, and that's 2032. The potential year of the second coming, that fits really nice too. So there's a lot of things that fit real nice. So this whole idea, like about 1 or 2 years ago, I spent a lot of energy talking about King David and King Solomon and King David dying, and then 3,000 years, the seed of David, which is Jesus the Messiah, coming. And so that works out pretty good too. I mean, I guess I'm sort of on the fence between 971 to 969. I kind of always have been. But that's pretty significant as well. Even if it's 970 BC, that fits pretty good too. So we're right in that really special window, so I'll leave it with that too. But the big thing about this is Ruth is a big deal for me when it comes to Rapture stuff, and the Feast of Weeks is a big deal for me, and I think it was on purpose that the author of Ruth left in intentionally 10 generations from Perez to David. I think that was intentional, and look at this. And how about that? Once again, it almost seems like a toast, like a wedding toast, like cheers to the one that was the son of a harlot. Like, whoa, what? Why would they do that? Well, I think it's because they knew that they were waiting for an extension of the genealogy of Boaz. Boaz was, I believe we counted to 7, right? So they're like, okay, good. Boaz is going to continue the lineage here, So they were happy to see that Boaz was getting married, to continue it on and to get out of this 10th generation thing going on because of Deuteronomy 23. I think they knew about Deuteronomy 23 verse 2, where he had to continue on his genealogy so they can have a future king. I think they were looking forward to things that are coming. So this is a subject that I want to study more and see how applicable this is for us, but I know I just kind of sent you a lot of information. I think we're certainly in the season, and we'll continue to study as we go here. And Genesis 38, check out my video I did a few months ago. I showed how every 49 letters, it shows you the genealogy of Boaz and Ruth and Obed and Jesse and David. All their names are coded, every 49 letters in Hebrew. Like I said, go check that out. Go back a few months to check that out. It's so cool, so cool. I'll bring it up again in the future. Okay, love you guys very much. We're one day closer. Go, Jesus, go.